Good evening and a warm welcome from the newsroom. The National Assembly has approved the request of the Truth, Reconciliation and National Unity Commission, TRNUC, to extend its mandate for another 3 months. It was the designated minister, Jean-François Ferrari, who presented the TRNUC Bill Amendment Number 2 to the National Assembly this morning. He reminded members that in September, the National Assembly approved a First Amendment to extend the TRNUC mandate until the 31st of this month. Following several queries from MNAs, TRNUC Commissioner Marie-Thérèse Purvis explained that the extension is necessary to complete work on 77 cases and that TRNUC has a small team compared to the volume of cases that needs to be completed, whereas difficulties to obtain the necessary evidence is delaying the completion of cases. Seychelles has formally signed an agreement with Libya to settle a debt repayment from an original loan amounting to $3 million dated back to 1981. Yesterday, the signed debt repayment agreement, agreed upon by both sides in October this year, was officially handed over by the minister responsible for finance, Nadi Hassan, to the Libyan ambassador in Seychelles and a representative from the Libyan Ministry of Finance. Under the settlement agreement, the principal debt amounting to $3.655 million is to be paid in one cash installment within 3 months of the signing of the document, whereas the interest accrued on the debt, amounting to $888,000, will be paid in 2 installments during 2023. The Trade Department says that it is satisfied with the comments the country has received following its presentation of the new trade policy at the World Trade Organization last week. Member countries of the WTO are bound to renew their policies every 7 years, and to note the Seychelles joined the organization in 2015. The Principal Secretary for Trade, Francis Lebon, says that the discussions were very fruitful.
In all, we received 65 questions and from 6 WTO members, and we responded to those questions comprehensively. And they commended Seychelles on the economic performance and also the bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic, the resilience of the economy and the direction the economy is taking, and also the targeted measures that have been taken by government to address some of the issues. And we also had the opportunity to discuss on technical capacity building, and this was offered by a few countries. And we will assess our needs, and we will submit in due course the technical assistance that will be required by Seychelles. And we hope that they keep their promises, and Seychelles can build capacity internally so that we can keep on the road of progress.
Immigration officers from the Seychelles International Airport are following a 3-day workshop on how to detect fake documents, especially passports, from visitors. The workshop that's being held at the Berjaya Bovalombe is a collaboration between the French Embassy and the Department of Immigration and Civil Status. Amongst the topics they will cover are ways to conduct searches on visitors and investigate their intentions. The Seychelles Revenue Commission is intensifying its data cleanup process this December to grant taxpayers a final opportunity to update their records with the organization. This will benefit the taxpayers with a new system that is more modernized than the current one dated back to 2010. To facilitate the process, the Commission has dedicated the staff to assist taxpayers in completing their information update form or to answer any queries regarding the process. The Information Update Center is located on the 2nd and 3rd floors of Maison Coulette and will open from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. They are also reachable on telephone number 429 37 37 or via email on registerrc.gov.sc.
As announced in our recent press release, SRC is offering a special service during the month of December to January to assist taxpayers with the updating and modification of their information or registration details. The benefit of this exercise relates to the new portal that we have launched and the new services that will be offered on that portal, such as taxpayers will now be able to view their account, which they were not able to do so previously when we were on that old system. So it is very important for your information to be accurate and up to date before we can fully offer this service. We seize this opportunity to insist that taxpayers really come forward because as from next year, we will be imposing penalty for failure to update information on time.
President Wavell Ramkalawan is currently in Washington, D.C., where he will be attending the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit at the invitation of United States President Joe Biden. Yesterday evening, the president attended the welcome dinner hosted by the Atlantic Council. During the event, opening statements were made by the chairman of the Atlantic Council, John Rogers, and the president of the African Union and president of Senegal, Macky Sall. The Atlantic Council's welcome dinner hosted a group of African heads of state, members of the Congress and the administration, business leaders, diplomatic corps, and high-profile civil society for important conversations on the business opportunities on the African continent. President Ramkalawan was accompanied by the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, Sylvestre Radegonde, and Seychelles' permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Ian Madeleine. And around 50 African heads of state are meeting in Washington for the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit. The summit is the latest diplomatic initiative taken by the United States to strengthen its ties with Africa, a continent whose geopolitical clout has grown greatly in the past decade. Climate change, peace and security, and the role of the African diaspora as some of the top issues on the summit's agenda. The three-day gathering will include top-level meetings, new initiatives and business deals that are meant to serve both the interests of African countries and the U.S. And as we said, President Ramkalawan is heading the Seychelles delegation at the summit, and he's expected to speak later today during a session on conservation, climate adaptation, and a just energy transition. And with this, we end this news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Good evening.